Hello students, in this video we will learn about HTML forms. So what are forms? Forms are the first step towards the interaction between the website and the client. Form tag is like a container that accepts inputs from the user. As you can see here, forms are used to enter users' information, and forms play a key role in registration forms. We have used a lot of times a few websites where we register ourselves with our details. So the basic structure of that particular container is forms. So there are various components of forms. I mean to say, there are various components that make up a form. A form contains various fields. It has input fields, it has buttons, it has checkboxes, etc. etc. You can also have a CAPTCHA inside a form. This is the basic structure of a form. As you can see there, we have text boxes. We can accommodate drop down boxes, radio buttons, check boxes, a text area, as well as buttons. And buttons also can be of various types like submit button, reset button, etc. etc. Form shell. So what is a form shell? The container in which we are going to add data or enter the data, that particular part of the container is called a shell. So let's go ahead and see how we can create a shell. The form tag, which includes the address of the script, will process the information that we give. So creating a shell, we have a tag called form in which we can have various options. In this case I want to interact with the server. For that reason, I have mentioned method equals to post action. The kind of method I am using here is post, and there could be a URL to which you want to submit the data. This is optional, and if you observe carefully, the method attribute and the action attribute are in line with form. That is, even before I closed the form tag, I have entered this, I have used this, and later you can also have other elements within the form tag. So how to end a form tag? Simply, just like any other HTML tag, you can use / to close it. Next, let's talk about how to create a text box. A text box can be created by using the input tag. The input tag has again various attributes within it. The type, where we have to mention text, then name of the text box, and the value in which we are going to enter. Okay. So after that, we can also set the length or the size of the text box by using size with pixel and max length with pixel n. Like I said, the name, value, size and max length attributes are optional. These are the various text box attributes. The name attribute is used to identify the text box. Generally, when we look at a text box, in order to make it easy for us, they will mention what to be entered into the text box. That basically is what this name attribute is. In the next slide, we have some examples. We will see that. The size attribute is used to define the size of the box in the characters. Box in characters, that is, how many characters are left. When we enter something, when we enter a text into the text box, generally it will mention us how many characters left to be entered. Here. So this is the label and this is the name. label and the name. So in order to get this output, this is the script that we use. First name, the label, input type equals to text, name equals to first name. Pretty easy. As we practice, we will get to know it more. And the first time we have come across BR is used to break, in order to go to the next line. Now, in some cases, we come across a few websites wherein we have to enter large text. Especially we will come across when we enter feedback. If you want to give a feedback to a particular service, generally the feedback has a large text area. So in order to create that, we have a tag called text area for larger text areas, and we also have an option to mention the number of rows and columns. And finally, wrap. Wrap is an important attribute where it wraps all the rows and columns together. And here the N1 is the height of the text box in rows and N2 is the width of the text box in characters. The wrap attribute causes the cursor to move automatically to the next line as a user types. So this is an example script for text area. Text area name equals to comments, rows 10, columns 50. Wrap. Finally, at the end of any registration page, we have a submit button. So how to create a submit button? Here, to create a submit button, again we will be using the tag input, type equals to submit. Then, if we want to a button with a name, we can give a value attribute. For example, here input type equals to submit, value is equals to buy now. It would create a button that says buy now. In the coming video, we will look into how we can insert images and how we can work more with buttons and other stuff. Thank you.